one of the choices that we work on is the choice for a patient who is terminally ill and mentally competent, who finds their dying process unbearable, even with excellent pain and symptom management, who wants to obtain medications that they can consume to bring about a peaceful death. This is a choice that 70% of Americans support. We call it aid in dying, opponents call it assisted suicide, and without spending a lot of time on the linguistics, it's very powerful what nomenclature one uses to talk about a particular choice, so I just invite you to be aware of choice of language. As Professor Clark mentioned, we did take a pair of cases actually to the U.S. Supreme Court in the mid-90s, Quill versus New York and Glucksberg versus Washington, that made the argument that a mentally competent terminally ill patient should have the right to make this choice as either a matter of liberty or equal protection. So a lot of the speculation has not presented. It has not been minority populations that have made this choice. It hasn't been undereducated people. It's been the more highly educated, more affluent people who do pursue hospice. They're overwhelmingly enrolled in hospice, getting excellent pain and symptom management, but who still find their dying process unbearable. Most of them are dying of cancer, and the next largest percent of ALS. And they're virtually all insured. This is a slide that just gives you a sense of when patients are asked why they're choosing this. It's never a single reason. It's always accumulation of reasons. And some of them may seem more intuitive than others. Pain actually comes fairly far down the list. But basically, it's accumulation of burdens that make the patients feel that their suffering is unbearable and they're ready to die.
In my experience of doing ICU rounds and on a regular basis, is that they are not interested in moving their patients to, if you use the word palliative care, because they understand palliative care meaning that you're giving up on your patient. Palliative care has nothing to do with that. They probably many times don't even understand the difference between palliative care and hospice, which are not the same things, though they overlap. So my own experience is that clinicians do not have this willingness to transfer their patients to palliative care teams. And when the first group went through the Oregon experience, only 13% of that group that was given the aid in dying drugs were actually referred to palliative care physicians. Fortunately, that is turned around, as Ms. Tucker has pointed to. People don't want to die entrapped in technology. How many of you have ever been in an ICU? Really? Okay. Well, it's an experience. I mean, you walk in and there are buzzers going off, there are lights, there are tubes coming out of people's body and just about every orifice that you can think of, and then some. And people who see a loved one die in those kinds of experiences are horrified, and they say to themselves, I'm not going to die like that. I want another way out.